Serious vocational trucks require a tough hood, and I'll tell you, the 4700 has one tough hood. It's made of sprayed up fiberglass, and it features a built-in steel substructure surround in the front of the hood. It does a couple things. It improves rigidity, improves durability of the hood, and it eliminates the need for that torsion bar that normally goes across the lower part of the hood, which would get in the way of a PTO if you were to mount one. There's two basic ways that a hood is mounted to a chassis. Generally, what highway trucks do is they utilize what they call a three-point mounting system. They have a big central hinge in the front of the hood, and then it clamps down to the cab with two massive straps in the back. Now this does a couple things. Number one, the benefits are it provides the hood a real good security to the cab, and you can really tighten up those hood gaps. But what it does is gives you a big obstacle to get through with the PTO, so we can't do that with the 4700. What the 4700 does is we utilize what we call a four-point mounting system. These big massive hinges on the outer side that connect to that substructure we talked about, and then on the back side it's clamped down to the cab. What this does is puts the hood mounting basically directly to the chassis. Now you'll generally see a little bit more hood flex when you're driving over undulating terrain, but this is a much more secure way to mount a hood on a vocational truck. The hood on the 4700 integrates these rugged fenders that were designed specifically for vocational applications. They were designed to allow enough clearance for up to a 445 series tire. Now we know you're going to be splashing through some mud and kicking up some rocks, so we want to protect this hood both on the inside and the outside. So we provided a splash shield on the inside of the fender to protect from rocks and debris from damaging the underside of the hood. Now every single 4700 comes with these quarter fenders mounted to the cab that feature a big rubber mud flap. Opening the hood on the 4700 really couldn't be any easier. The 4700 utilizes two spring-assisted gas struts that help push the hood open when you're pulling on it, and they also help prevent the hood from blowing over if you're working on it in a windy condition. We also utilize two massive 1-inch nylon limiting straps to prevent damage from overextension. Clean, fresh air is really the source of power for any engine. The 4700 features this large chrome composite air intake on the left side of the hood. This air intake feeds into a plenum which is molded on the underside of the hood, which provides additional rigidity to the hood. Clean, fresh air flows through the intake plenum, which is molded to the underside of the hood on the 4700. It passes through this hole through a rubber seal that seals to this Donaldson air filter. Now this filter cleans out moisture and debris. It's a large capacity air filter and provides a great service life. Now you guys in the northern states know that snowplows can often operate in some pretty harsh environments. Keeping all that snow and ice and moisture out of the engine is essential for a good quality plow truck. The 4700 has an available option for a driver-controlled snow door, which opens an opening in the lower part of the plenum and allows the engine to breathe good, clean, warmer air from inside the engine compartment rather than that moist air that's outside. Vocational trucks often operate at very low speeds. Sometimes they're even stationary. If you've got an improperly designed cooling system, this could produce problems. The 4700 has ample cooling capacity with a 1500 square inch radiator for the Detroit DD13 engine and a 1300 square inch radiator for the Cummins ISL engine. These cooling packages are engine mounted, and what this means is that we could really tighten up the fan tip to shroud clearance, which really maximizes fan efficiency, producing a better cooling package. The aluminum radiator is mounted to the engine mounts with rubber biscuits and provide good insulation, and by being engine mounted, that does not allow the chassis stresses to get into the cooling package. In keeping with Western Star's heritage for easy maintenance, we located all the fluid level checks to the left side of the vehicle. You could easily check your oil level, you can add oil, you could check your power steering fluid, you could add wiper washer fluid, and you could check your coolant level, all from the left side of the vehicle. Vocational trucks often have equipment mounted to the front of the truck that inhibit the hood from being open for those daily fluid checks. But Western Star thought this out by providing an access hatch on the left side of the hood so you can make those checks without opening the hood and getting in the way of that equipment. Now check this out. This air intake is there for aesthetics and a uniform look, but when you select the access hatch option, this becomes an access hatch that you can open and check the coolant level. We thought of everything. Let's face it, modern trucks have a lot of electronics. You have control modules for the transmissions, ABS, and various other components, and all that information has to feed from the chassis through the firewall into the cab. and the engine compartment could be a pretty harsh environment. Our engineers took special care to make sure that we keep a real clean firewall and place these 72-pin connectors in an easily accessible area if you need to get to them. Maneuverability is another key aspect of a serious vocational truck. The 4700 was designed with up to a 55-degree wheel cut for great maneuverability in those really tight spots. Now, while we're on the subject of steering, the 4700 was designed with a quick-release steering shaft to prevent the steering shaft from moving toward the driver in the event of a front-end collision. Safety first. Closing the hood on the 4700 is a breeze too. The gas struts allow the hood to slowly close into position. The pin and cup system that you see here securely mounts the hood to the firewall. Now, this cup is mounted to a massive bracket that distributes the road load throughout the firewall and prevents damage in the long run. So now let's talk a little bit about exhaust. When you're installing equipment on a truck or a truck body, exhaust options are really critical. Sometimes you need a clear back of cab, while other times clear frame space is the most important thing. It really depends on what equipment you're mounting on the truck. Western Star has you covered with the 4700 by offering a couple different options. You can select between a frame rail mounted vertical stack, B-pillar mounted vertical stack like you see here, or a lightweight horizontal exhaust, depending on your application. Your trucks are going to operate equipment that will haul rocks, plow snow, lift wallboard, the list goes on. The point is, all of these applications require a PTO, and Western Star offers several PTOs on the 4700. Starting with the transmission-mounted PTO for the Allison Automatic, Eaton UltraShift, and the Eaton Straight Drive transmissions. We also offer a front-engine PTO and then a rear-engine PTO like what's pictured here on this Detroit DD13 engine. While others praise their complicated multiplex system, Western Star knows that true work trucks often require modifications or installation of equipment while at the work site. You try that with a multiplex system and you could run into nightmares. That is why Western Star maintains a true point-to-point wiring system along the chassis so that you can cut and tap into this harness as needed to meet your application needs. And you won't have to worry about the horn blowing when you hit the brakes. That concludes this portion of the video. Please proceed to the next section for even more information on the Western Star 4700.